Personally, the things that have hurt and harmed me the most is my encounters with victims of crime. I'm a victim advocate at heart. I know that I suffer from compassion fatigue. A lot of that has to do with how I was raised. Being raised in a Middle Eastern Muslim household, we are taught that empathy is foundational. We are taught to be very selfless. We're taught to always put other people first. أنا اسمي سارة شندي. بشتغل في الكيس Western Reserve University Department of Public Safety. My job title is a second shift sergeant. The sergeant is usually the one that directly oversees the officers because they are the ones that are in direct contact with our communities. Everything that happens on our shift, we're directly responsible for. I always tell people that all this means is that when things go really well, you get credit. When they don't go so well, I take responsibility. I just went to Egypt last October, and every single time I go, I am absolutely starstruck. The country's so beautiful, and I feel proud seeing the pyramids and going to Luxor and eating kushari and just really being amongst the Egyptian people makes me feel so proud, and it really humbles me that I can call Egypt my home. العائلة بتاعتي جت United States لما أنا كنت عندي 6 سنين. Their life was definitely not easy. They just worked really hard for a very long time. Growing up, anytime we would speak English at home, my dad would yell Arabi. In school, you are acclimating to one culture, and at home, you're expected to abide by certain cultural expectations and religious expectations. When I went to high school, we definitely faced bullying. We had a very thick accent. We dress differently, and we think that everything that makes us different, they are a liability, when in all reality, everything about us that's different is truly what makes us an asset to our workplace and our communities in general. And especially here at my current police department, which is the Case Western Reserve University Department of Public Safety, I am so privileged and I feel so honored to be here. I feel like I gained a new family. I came from a county where a lot of times I was the only female, I was the only minority, I was the only Arab American, I was the only Muslim. Here, I'm not like that. I feel very accepted. They really value having me here and what I bring to the table. I do focus on women in law enforcement because we have a very unique set of challenges when it comes to being in this job, entering the profession, and also staying in the profession. And in everything that I do, on and off duty, I try to bridge the gap between law enforcement and the Middle Eastern Muslim community. As a young officer, I attended a lot of trainings, and while in these trainings, I heard some comments that were kind of concerning. Officers voicing their opinion about the Middle Eastern or Muslim community within their jurisdiction. I never got offended, but I just took it as a personal and professional mission to dispel some of those myths and misconceptions. So in 2012, after I finished my master's degree, I dedicated a lot of time and I put together this class titled Interacting with the Middle Eastern and Muslim Population. Designed it primarily for law enforcement, but I have taught it for every other discipline out there, from judges to hospital staff to teachers. Really anybody that works with people can benefit from the class. My sister, Shaimet, is a school counselor, and we go to mosques, sometimes our local mosques, sometimes other mosques, and we have roundtable conversations about different topics: peer pressure, internet safety, dating violence, domestic violence. I stick to more of the law enforcement topics that I have experience and expertise with, and our biggest goal is to help the kids through school and kind of be who we needed when we were younger. We are very big on attending campus groups meeting. We don't want the students to not know who we are by name, and we want them to feel comfortable to come to us for anything. And we also here have students from 176 different countries, which I think is absolutely amazing. So not only do they get to know us, but we get to learn a lot about other cultures. Sometimes I go throughout my whole shift without ever getting in a cruiser, because not only am I getting my steps in and getting my exercise in, but I get to interact with so many people that are always out. We have 7 hospitals in the area. We have the Cleveland Art Museum down the road. So I'm always running into families, kids, students from other countries, parents coming here to visit their kids. I understand that our uniform can come across kind of intimidating, which is why I don't mind being the conversation starter. I love people, I love talking to people. Alhamdulillah, like my career has been so amazing, and I have been able to achieve things that like I can't even say I dreamed of achieving. October of 2020, I got the 40 Under 40 award from the IACP, which is the International Association of Chiefs of Police. I call it my career lottery. I can't imagine anything bigger than that happening. Out of the 40 award winners, I was the only Arab American female on the list. And when I was sworn in here, I made history in the state of Ohio as being the first Muslim Arab American police sergeant. I don't take credit for all of that stuff alone. When I was working 2 full-time jobs for 3 years, once a week I wanted to quit because it was so stressful. I always remember how happy and proud my parents are, and that shuts me up really quickly. I've always wanted to, inshallah, one day become a police chief somewhere. That's what I work towards. But if it doesn't happen, I'm totally okay with it. And I feel that God always puts you where you're needed the most. As long as I get to stay in uniform, that's really all I care about. I love this uniform. I try to honor it every time I'm in it. But I pride myself on the fact that I've achieved every goal that I have set, personal and professional. And I really would not be here if it wasn't for every single person in my life that sent me a text at the right time, that I can call when I'm having a bad day, that believed in me even when I wasted so much time doubting myself. So when they see my story and when they see my success, I tell them that this is our story. I love the quote that says, "Your talent is God's gift to you. What you do with it is your gift back to God."